It's Treeland. It's a magic place at times. At present, Treeland has a king. But, of course, you as audience can also participate here because you must feel very sad that our king has decided to abdicate. So if you feel sad, go, "Aww, aww." So every time you feel sad, you can say that. We will begin this night's event by introducing Merlin. Murray is Merlin, and Merlin has a job to do.
Merlin's wand, from which magic flows. Your Majesty, my job is to lead you in. And as Merlin, I'm authorized. Please be seated on whichever throne you prefer. The great wizard appoints you to your rank. Applause, please. Your Majesty, kindly join me. I anoint thee a worthy queen.
Yay! Sire, Your Majesty, and Her Majesty, we as tree people, members of the council, troubadours, we've all pledged our mind and hearts to the tree reading series and to you. You have expressed the wish to abdicate your rightful place as king of the mismatched socks at the tree reading series. However, your loyal subjects have things to tell you. I first of all wish that you did not feel you wanted to leave, and trust it is not our fault at all. We have tried to be good, civil, well, I wouldn't say servants, but people that belong to your kingdom. To begin this evening's events, make way for Sir Brian, Laugh-a-Lot, and Guinevere.
Brenda, would you rather pass out here?
Yeah.
Your Royal Lowness. This is one of the frowsiest joints I've ever seen. You got people here that look like you. I just came in from Africa. I was searching for the Holy Grail. Now, what the hell is a Holy Grail, and why was I searching for it? Rather be searching for an unholy Grail. Africa's famous for big game. One night I shot 300 bucks. That was the biggest game we had. One morning I shot an elephant in my pajamas. How we got in my pajamas, I'll never know. Of course, in Africa, the principal game are elks, moose, and knights of Pythias. And it's very interesting when they're coming to their annual convention. She says, see them every morning. They come down to the water hole. And you should see them run when they see it's only a water hole. What they're looking for, of course, is an alcohol. Took some pictures of some native girls, but they weren't developed, so we're going back in another year. I shot an elephant and tried to get the tusks out, but they were embedded too tight. Of course, in Alabama, the Tuscaloosa, but that's entirely irrelevant to what I was talking about.
That's fine, Laugh-a-Lot. We have some business to conduct tonight. I, too, have words from my king. I would suggest, Sir Laugh-a-Lot, that the grail for this poet king is to have a library of books. What say you?
Outside of a dog, a book is man's best friend. Inside of a dog, it's too dark to read.
Make way for Sir Blaine Percival.
Good people of this realm, this plays the thing in which we celebrate the king. Being a knave, unnerved, am I Galahad or Percival in this plot? Some would say, like you, my liege, I am retiring and recently returned to this well-treed realm. We come at the behest of your rhyming minions, not just to praise you, sir, but to roast you as merrily as chestnuts at Yuletide. To send you and your lady love out into the good night where the muse awaits your mind's ear, so words may be unleashed and stanzas as burnished as your throne spill forth from the endless bound books. For my liege, though thou hast done, thou hast not done.
I too have things to say, O great king. It is a great loss to all that you are stepping down. However, henceforth, I pledge my life to make sure that from here on, rhyming poems shall be accepted by a major Canadian magazine. I also want to say, I'm interrupted here.
Where's Guinevere?
Oh, it seems, Merlin, that there is others who want to speak. Your Majesty, here is Sir David of the Manx Garter.
Whoa!
Make way for Sir David of the Manx and also Sir Kevin Hoboken Spoken.
This is the weirdest nativity scene I've ever been in. And I don't know my lines. Thank you. What foolishness is this? Rhyming poems, you mean like hey diddle diddle? I myself believe that our king has fostered all kinds of poetry in his realm. Take, for instance, all the spoken word poems. For example, here, pointing with my sword, is Sir Kevin Hoboken Spoken. Yes. To speak a few lines in a loud declaiming voice. Sir Kevin speaks a few lines of his own, then says,
Jazz licks, drumsticks, body bebop, soft shoe tricks. But sire, I must be off to another slam. I leave you with my best wishes.
oh!
Now here is the interesting part, because here is where we are supposed to introduce the beautiful and talented Princess Jennifer, who says, "Oh, Father, Father, if leaving is what you want to do, you should just do it. Thrones are not the most comfortable pieces of furniture, are they? You probably have other things you wish to do with your life, and you can do whatever you want to do. Climb every mountain, ford every stream, follow every rainbow, till you find your dream." Make way for Princess Pearl, the Royal Workshop organizer, and Sir Brian II of the Internet, not to be confused with Sir Brian of the Manx.
Royal Workshop Manager, oh no, that's the wrong one, never mind. Your Majesty, I pledge to dutifully continue the workshop series that great poetry will be increased in the realm.
And I, sir, shall uphold the high standards of the Tree website.
And?
Oh Oh, yes, and to bake bread and shower Lady Pearl with pearls.
And?
Uh,
Well. Thank you, Lady Pearl and Sir Brian. We are a bit short on time here. Your 4 minutes are up. Make way for Princess Leslie of the wonderful box.
What do we have here? What do we have here? Oh my goodness, I opened the box and found a cat, a dead one. Ah, poor thing. But I read it a few lines of T.S. Eliot, and he's right as rain again. Now look at that. The dead cat is alive and reciting poetry. My congratulations on putting together so many half-dead cats, my niece. I mean poets. Dead.
And here we have we have Merlin back again for a little bit more magic. He has a bit more to say.
And what about a translation from into Yiddish? Brillig gewein und die Gavarim geglitscht gefährlich auf den Scham. Ganz mimsy gewein die Gavarim und die Moim rats ois gram.
Whereas Sir David of the Manx is going to say, what the heck does that mean? But he's lost somewhere back there with the beer. Merlin, you've been asked, what the hell does that mean?
Stay awake and hold it and let it go.
Beware the Jabberwock, my son.
Make way for Sir Ted of the Red Moor and his wife, the Duchess Claudia of Carlton Place. That's me.
Amazing. Sire, I have a complaint. My wife, Duchess Claudia of Carlton Place, would never allow me to read my favorite poem at tree. I demand to have a voice in your court. Okay, thank you. Now, okay. At last I get to put a word in. Of course, Sir Ted turns to the court and, I'll tell you my poem here. So it's very, very easy here. So, okay. Fleas. Adam had 'em, and I think I've got 'em too. And I have a few others here, but...
Sir Ted, we are truly blessed by your words today, but this poem requires a lot of deep thought and reflection. So there are people who have more things to say. Would you mind?
Well, not really, but I have a little addition to make to this one, and it's sort of put in the lower context. It's called sweeping. If you can't see the footprints, it's not necessary.
Now, Sir Ted. Thank you for the depth of your poetry, Sir Ted. We're concerned, Your Majesty, about who will follow in your footsteps. Who will have the courage, the strength to continue your odd sock reign? By the way, that's an admirable pair you have on tonight. Let's everyone see it and applaud the King's socks. And how about the Queen's socks? Look at that. Make way for the 3 Prime Ministers. The Supreme Duchess Margaret Zielinski of the European Union. The Supreme Duchess Carol Stephen of the World Poetry Collective and Foreign Affairs, not to mention the financial advisor. and the Supreme Duchess Deanna Young, Minister of Culture, Defense, etc.
Yes, I have
Can
Sire.
come up here? Yeah.
Sire, your Royal Council has declared that we three, Duchess Carol, Duchess Margaret, and myself, Duchess Deanna, shall endeavor to keep Tree growing. I, Sire, with my passion for poetry, will endeavor to do my part.
As a duchess from the mother country, I'm delighted to be out here in the colonies with my super personality and gifts. You're so lucky. I will help the other two prime ministers to share the load and make sure your kingdom continues to the end of time, or until the collapse of the euro. We always knew it would never last, whichever comes first.
And then there are my sterling qualities, not to mention my fortune. Or actually, I guess this is really Tree's fortune. And my most astounding personality. I agree with Duchess Zelinsky, and I think we can make this work. I pledge my expertise with finances, my good looks, and my deep knowledge of the international poetry world. Proto-modern, postmodern, post-postmodern, contemporary, Dada. I guess that's enough.
It is our pleasure, Your Majesty. Thank you, three prime ministers, soon to be co-directors, queens of Tree. It is our pleasure, Your Majesty, to thank you once more for all you have done for the poetry world. Despite the immense treasure chests you have accumulated throughout your reign.
Just a moment. A treasure chest? You never told me anything about that, my love. Trips, Hofer's, diamonds, new art studio.
Yes? My lady.
Yes?
Please calm yourself. It is true, my lady, that our king has acquired vast treasures in those chests.
Yes, yes.
And all accumulated during his reign.
Yes.
But, my lady, the treasure consists of no more than a few thousand poetry books.
Oh, no.
Or is that 100,000, Your Majesty? Your Majesty, I have worked closely with you and watched you govern this kingdom with wisdom, strength, and courage. Thank you.
Is the Lady Joanne with us this evening? I thought she might not have been able to attend. However, we will be represented for this last part by Sir Dean, poet extraordinaire of Ottawa and former King of Tree, from whom King Rod of the Mismatched Socks took over. Sir Dean.
Here, hold my horse, partner. All right. Good evening, Your Majesty. It has fallen to me to guide you towards your future. I have known you for many years. Many years. For a long time, long time, I have been aware of your dreams.
On every mountain,
Your Majesty.
Oscar moment.
Poor horse. Good. Your Majesty, it is time for you to climb down according to your own...
Merlin is here to remove the...
yes. Well, go ahead, Merlin. Jump in quick. My precious. Okay, now you're throwing me right off. Okay, Your Majesty, it is time for you to climb down according to your own decree and wish. It's time for you to take up a new crown. Oh. I crowned him. New crown. Oops. Okay. All right. Okay, hold on. New crown. Dean crowns him with the crown that says full-time, well, it doesn't quite say it, but it says full-time poet. Abbreviated, it says full-time poet. Please stand all. Okay, that's you guys. Please stand all. For there is no one more fully due respect in our society than he or she who decides to dedicate him or herself to poetry. Let's all bow to him as he takes on the supremely difficult role of full-time poet. Okay, let's put our hands together for Rod Pederson, poet.
And if the players would come quickly to the front, take a quick bow. Come on up, players. And after we take a quick bow, Your Majesty, you must remain, you with your queen, in your chair for another moment. To the players, it was so much fun doing this because they were so great. Now, we have a couple of things to do for which the king and queen will remain in their place. So if you just hang in for a minute, perhaps the players could go back and...
I thought we were going to be head on down. What does that mean? Nothing.
Stop slushing, maybe?
You're going to love seeing this on YouTube. Around goes around, my friend.
That's good. Okay. Where's Claudia?
I think she's changing her thoughts.
Okay, well, we're going to wait for her to come back. Take a breather. Do you want to lead us?
No, let's solve a problem like Maria. Oh, dear. For he's a jolly good fellow. For he's a jolly good fellow. For he's a jolly good fellow. Which nobody can deny. Which nobody can deny. Which nobody can deny.
For he's a jolly good fellow. For he's a jolly good fellow. For he's a jolly good fellow. Which nobody can deny.
Who's the pounding king?
Spare elf. I love it.
Our spare elf here, he's a very special person in our realm. And right now he's very embarrassed because I forgot to call him in the play. Now, you have to know that he had very important lines to say.
Okay.
And so I think you better come say them. Right here.
Elf, elf,
Don't trip. Don't trip. Elf.
Surely you jest.
You're just saying that because of my height.
Okay, I'll start off. Okay. I will be Lady Stedman because she wasn't here. That's what happened.
Can I just... Hey.
Okay, get me out of the way.
Rod, you know what? You have been an inspiration to the young people of the city in poetry, in terms of starting up something and bringing it to life. It's been an honor for me to know you. And you have my eternal gratitude. Thank you very much.
Okay.
You can do this part first. Yeah, do that first. And then do these two.
Oh, I have to do these.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so we wrote to Trees, featured readers and family, friends out of town and locally, to invite them here tonight if they were in town, and also if they so wished, to write a note of congratulations to Rod. The response, Rod, was tremendous. 33 people responded with wonderful words of congratulations. And I'd like to give you all a few examples from a few samples. And if anybody else would like to send in a note, please send it to me or Claudia, and we'll make sure to include it. Claudia, after this event, has kindly offered to put all this together into a beautiful book, which you will receive. So these are just some samples. From Rue Borson, Dear Rod, what a piece of good luck for Ottawa that you were willing to pilot the series. Now poetry itself will continue to benefit from your grace and skill, not to mention a vast sense of speed in your own writing. That's one. Thank you. From Karen Connolly, Dear Rod, happy climbing down from the tree. We loved having you up there, providing us with good views all around and helping us to hear and to sing our poetry. Being a worker in song is always a labor of love, and well, a labor period. So thank you for all your hard work and caring for Canadian poetry. All my best, Kaz Connolly. From Roland Prevost. Rod, I often like to sit on the banks of the river to watch its flow. Among the wonders I can discern deep in its waters is a sincere and enduring thanks to you for your contributions, a new light not there before your passage. It's such a pleasure then to testify that the river knows that this is good. From Pearl Peary. Thanks, Rod, for spreading the gospel of good poetry and for giving all your energies to the community so that they return manyfold in many. Pearl. Wonderful poem that Sandra Ridley sent from John Thompson's Moving Out, Moving In. I know you won't believe this. We are so obstinate, don't care for voices. But after all, the poet names, almost without speech, because you are and said so, we are. You have opened the windows, the doors, let in our animals, our sea, our woods. With you, we inhabit our house. Move out and let others move in. With gratitude, Sandra Ridley. Mark Tredenik, all the way from Australia. No event on the hastily got-up reading tour I did in 2012 of Canada was better organized, attended, masterminded, and ringmastered than my reading with Linda Rogers at Tree. Rod Pederson is a rare specimen among the taxon poet, a passionate and discerning, indeed a poetic reader, a diplomat, a shop steward, an agent, provocateur in brackets, an entrepreneur, a philosopher, a friend. He is, and not only a tree, not only within Ottawa, the finest of fellows in the fellowship of the poem. If I may borrow and bend some words from a poem of Anne Sexton's Black Art that I shared at the top of my reading in Ottawa, out of used furniture, Rod Pederson makes a tree. I thank Rod for all he did and continues to do for me. He's organizing a reading tour of Canada involving Emile Zoe Baker, Sam Watson, and me in 2013, for all he did in his tenure to conserve and grow the tree, and for all he does for poetry, which is much. I want to thank him for his intelligence, grace, wisdom, and humanity. He civilizes us all. Just a few more little samples out of many. From Peter Richardson. Rod, thanks for expanding Tree into new territory. Your Dead Poets segment, the Tree Seed Workshop, and those thoughtful introductions you gave for each of the featured readers over the years could only have happened through imaginative persistence. I raise my cup and wassail your efforts. From Phil Hall. Rod, my comrade, for all of your work toward community, as we search together a line that grows in all directions, wider out from the torpor of the body and its dukkha, to achieve the weightless, guiltless hover of anonymous ancient song sung, aiming there, aiming there, aiming there, using circular arrows. We thank you, word nurture. There you go. Thank you for all your efforts. Best, Phil. And from Amanda Earle, couldn't be here tonight. On behalf of Byward CA, please convey to Rod Pederson my appreciation for his diligent and caring amship of Tree, a series that is at the root of Ottawa's literary community and which extends its branches into the world at large. On a personal note, I want to thank Rod for making an open mic reader and a hot voice feel right at home. So we're going to, as one of our gifts to you, Rod, give you that to keep for now. Okay. Now, Leslie Strutt has come up with an idea for a new award to honor Rod. Leslie, would you come up and tell us all about it?
It occurred to me that we could have an award in Rod's name to celebrate his love, his delight in poetry, the poetry that amazes him, that, you know, that's something that just gets his big smile out. So we're going to name this this prize the Rod Sock Award. It will take place between January and sometime in the summer. We'll figure out that detail later. It's not going to replace the Origami Crane competition, which is an open mic competition, but it will be an open mic competition. And we haven't quite decided yet, but it's possible that it will be a surprise evening. Doesn't that sound like him? So you will not know which evening is going to be the Rod Sock event. And we'll hope that Rod will be there, but he's going to be there lots, I hope, anyway. But it is going to be officially judged by the audience. So it will pop up when you least expect it, like that little sock you lost in the laundry. And the gift, the prize itself, will be a pair of socks, maybe matched, maybe not, in honor of the poetry that amazes. What was it? It sort of rhymed with Rod, but it was wad, which makes me a little nervous. So I think we should let that part go. It's okay. It's okay. I'm getting down now. I've had too much to drink.
And the very last thing of the evening. It's a two-part last thing of the evening. Sir Rod, now that you are no longer king, we must call you Sir, for you haven't lost your rank or your honor. We at Tree have come up with the perfect gift, which is simply a new pair of mismatched socks.
And they do stretch.
They do stretch. Well, we've had a lot of seriousness and a lot of fun tonight, and there's a few last things to do. Rod, would you please come up? Maybe your queen can hold that for you. We would like to present you, Claudia and I, on behalf of Tree, would like to present you with a plaque, and I'll read it out. Tree Reading Series, with deep appreciation to Rod Pederson, passionate, visionary leader and impresario extraordinaire, to the Tree Reading Series and the Ottawa Poetry Community. 11th of December, 2012.
Oh, that's
This is for you.
Beautiful.
You may be seated.
You may be seated, but we will call you back up shortly. Before we call up Sir Rod to say a few words, we would like to say a big thank you to everyone tonight for coming, and to all the many people who helped out. You really did make tonight a hit. First of all, I'd like to thank Claudia for writing and directing in Treeland. What a hoot. To her cast for getting into the act. To the readers who read in honor of Rod. To Marie Citron for reading Schrodinger's.
What's this all about here?
Do you want to continue?
Oh, you want me to continue? Yeah. To Monty Reed and Claudia for their words. To Leslie Strutt for organizing Schrodinger's and the Rod Sock Award. To Brian Cook and David Blakey for, well, many things. Brian is the man on the camera tonight. He's also going to do one more thing. He's going to push that button to play that song in a moment when we're just about finished. And it's a song that Jennifer taped because she was going to sing it, but she isn't here, but you will hear that shortly. I would like to thank David Blakey and Brian also for bringing all the drinks tonight. Yeah. Yes. Margaret Zielinski, Deanna, and Carol for picking up goodies, costumes, the table, the cloths. Also, Rhonda did a lot of work there, I noticed, putting all of that together. To everyone who brought goodies, appetizers, sweets, whatever. To all those who wrote e-notes to Rod. To all those who brought all these swords and funny hats. And your turn.
Okay. And to Claudia, who baked the cake that we're soon going to be eating.
Okay.
Okay. So, thank you to all. Now, we hope tonight would leave Rod speechless, but somehow we doubted it. So, Rod, let's see what you're made of here. Come on up and say a few words.
I'm going to. I have to appear in my natural habitat. I need my coat. Can't do anything without that. Well, I've been in 2006, I told Liz that I was interested in poetry, but I didn't know any poetry groups or any people, and she brought me to Tree. And I found my tribe. It's going to be a little difficult. I wrote a poem around the time that I was considering leaving and thinking ahead to it. And I took it to the reading group of Rona and Dean and Adele. And Rona asked me, "What made you think of that?" And I said, "Well, maybe it was my second gin and tonic, I don't know." But then I thought about it today, and I realized that the poem was written for you. It's about you. You are the people I love. This poem is composed of the people I love. The people I love are words. The words report that I'm an early riser. I rise at noon. These words are reputed to be inconclusive, but they know who they are. Yes, they are. I do not know the word for me, although I know that sailor is the word for you. You rest upon the waves like a word upon a page. You rise at dawn and settle into darkness for the night. Or do you turn? Then your word is moon or light. This poem harbors our words until sunfall, when it whispers us on to the moon-blown sea, where we rise and fall like sailors on the swell, composing our one last hope. This poem, the one that knows us. You're the ones I love. That's why I've been doing this. Deanna Young, Margaret Zielinski, Carol Stephen, and I have to make a special mention of Dave Curry. Dave Curry has taken on the job of becoming our admin support person, and I can imagine a better person to do it. He's hit the ground running, and we're all going to benefit from Dave's talents. All of the entire Ottawa poetry community will benefit from Dave's talents. Carol, Deanna, and Margaret are a wonderful group of people, clear-minded, determined, energetic, excellent. Tree is in wonderful hands, and it will succeed. I have nothing more to say except thank you. Thank you. You've given me the best 6 years of my life. Thank you.
Thank you, Roger.
And now, one last poem from George Gordon, Lord Byron. So I'll go no more a-roving so late into the night, though the heart be still as loving and the moon be still as bright. For the sword outwears the sheath as the soul outwears the breast, and the heart must pause to breathe and love itself have rest. Though the night was made for loving, yet the day returns too soon, and we'll go no more roving by the light of the moon. Good night.